Hello everyone. Today we have, I found a very interesting magazine here. It's called Good Medicine. It's by a medical organization, Physicians for Responsible Medicine, which tells all about the advantages of having a plant-based diet on various things, from avoiding cancer, avoiding bone weakening, avoiding migraines, for heart health, and a lot of various medical things can be helped by having a plant-based diet. Let's take a look at this magazine right now. Let's take a look at it. It's called Good Medicine. This is from the, winter of 2015. Care Research. It's time to test drugs with better technology. Well, the main article is hazardous hospital foods. How fast foods jeopardizes public health. Anyway, let's take a look. The evidence is in, and plenty of it. A plant-based diet is powerful for health. Years ago, people embarking on a plant-based diet had to tolerate a litany of questions from their well-meaning but ill-informed friends. Quote, "Isn't that a little extreme?" And the ever-popular, "Where do you get your protein?" These same questions persist among some people who've fallen behind in their reading. But the science is in, and it shows that a plant-based diet has important, sometimes drastic, health benefits. 20 years ago, Dean Ornish, MD, proved that a vegetarian diet, along with other healthful lifestyle changes, can reverse heart disease. Other researchers found reductions in cancer risk and other benefits among vegetarian populations. In our studies, we have shown that vegan diets improve body weight, cholesterol level, blood pressure, and blood sugar. They reduce menstrual pain and may play a role in migraine and arthritis. All in all, the evidence for health benefits of plant-based diets is now beyond the point of serious controversy. This does not mean that all questions have been answered. The full range of benefits of plant-based diets remain to be explored. How much will they help in cancer survival, multiple sclerosis, or behavioral problems in children, for example? And it is sensible to ask what kind of vegan diet is best. More raw foods, macrobiotic? As these issues are being tackled, evidence is already strong enough to show that a plant-based diet is not the extreme end of a diet spectrum. Rather, getting the animals off one's plate is the beginning of the exploration of food's power for health. This is by Neil D. Bernard, MD, president of PCRM. Let's take a look at some of the various articles we can find in this magazine. Hazardous hospital foods, how fast foods jeopardizes public health. 2014 Airport Food Review, plant-based meals take off in U.S. airports. Doctors award golden carrots for healthy school lunches. Study success stories, plant-based diet helps migraine pain. Plant-based diet improves diabetes. Major new studies from the Physicians Committee. Complete nutrition, B12 and the power plate, fighting diabetes in Macedonia, putting it into practice. Tips from pediatrician Michael Magnin. International Conference on Nutrition in Medicine, Cardiovascular Disease. Research issues. Canadian University urged to replace animal labs with simulators. Train paramedics with simulators, not animals. Let's take a look. at one or two of the let's take a look at this. 1 second. Vegan diet is most effective for weight loss. A vegan diet leads to the most weight loss compared with other dietary patterns. According to a study in the journal Nutrition, 63 overweight adults were assigned to one of 5 different dietary patterns for a 6-month period. Omnivorous, semi-vegetarian, pesco-vegetarian, that's eating fish with vegetarian and fruits, vegetables and fruits, and grains. Lacto-ovo-vegetarian, that means milk and eggs with a plant-based diet. And vegan. Vegan is completely plant-based. At the end of the study, the vegan group lost, on average, more than twice the percentage of body weight, 7.5%, compared with omnivorous, 3.1%, semi-vegetarians, 3.2%, and pesco-vegetarians, 3.2%. The lacto-ovo-vegetarian group lost an average of 6.3 percentage points. The vegan group also had the greatest reductions in total fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol intake, and the greatest increase in dietary fiber intake, all protective against chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes.
Because a great city needs an informed and engaged public. More information at RebsonFoundation.org. WNYC is a media partner for the...
More milk, this is important. More milk, more fractures and death.
Thursday,
high cow's milk intake is associated with increased risk for bone.
Details at brickartsmedia.org.
High cow's milk intake is associated with increased risk for bone fractures and death, according to a new study in the British Medical Journal. Researchers followed 61,433 women and 45,339 men for more than 20 years and 11 years, respectively. Among women, those who consumed 3 or more glasses of milk per day had a 60% increased risk for developing a hip fracture and a 16% increased risk for developing any bone fracture. Additionally, among women, for each glass of milk consumed, the risk of dying from all causes increased by 15%, from heart disease by 15%, and from cancer by 7% during the 20.1-year observation period. For the women who consumed 3 or more glasses of milk per day, compared with less than 1 glass, risk of dying increased by 93%. Men had a 10% increased risk of dying during the same time frame when consuming 3 or more glasses of milk per day, compared with less than 1 glass. So here's this is Michelson K. Wolk. You can see over here who it's by. Low carb diet increases the risk of death for heart patients. A low carbohydrate diet high in animal products is associated with an increased risk for dying. That's low carbohydrate diet high in animal products is associated with an increased risk for dying, according to a new study published by the American Heart Association. Researchers analyzed the diets of 4,098 women and men who had previously had heart attacks and found that they were 33% more likely to die from any cause and 51% more likely to die from heart disease if following a low carbohydrate diet high in animal sources of protein and fat, compared with those whose dietary patterns consisted of fewer low-carb animal-based products. So this tells, here's where the study was done. Right over here. So yeah, let's take a look at another hazardous hospital foods. This was very interesting. 2014 Airport Food Review. The plant-based meals take off in U.S. airports. Travelers don't have to resort to artery-clogging cheeseburgers and cancer-promoting chicken wings while passing through the nation's busiest airports. The Physicians Committee Airport Food Review, now in its 14th year, finds that 75% of restaurants in 23 of the top 30 busiest U.S. airports now offer at least one healthful plant-based meal, such as ancient grain bowls and black bean chili. Baltimore, Seattle, and Los Angeles airports top this year's report, which includes 5 airports new to the report: Philadelphia, Boston, JFK, LaGuardia, and Seattle. In 2001, just 57% of airport restaurants offered at least one plant-based option. Every year, the Airport Food Review encourages more and more U.S. airports to offer hungry travelers plant-based meals that aren't just disease-fighting, they're also delicious, says Physicians Committee Director of Nutrition Education Susan Levin, MSRD. I'm excited to see a menu shift toward immune-boosting, cholesterol-free foods like beet burgers, quinoa bowls, and Brussels sprouts salad. Here we have something interesting here. Oh, this was rather interesting also. Okay. Doctors Award, Golden Carrots for Healthy School Lunches. Beef-loving, quote, here we go. Beef-loving Nebraskan kids are warming to veggie burgers and carrot sticks, The Atlantic reported, when the Physicians Committee gave a Golden Carrot Award to Lincoln Public School District in Lincoln, Nebraska in October. Muse School, California, in Calabasas, California, and Desert Garden Montessori in Phoenix also won the award that is given each year during National School Lunch Week to recognize schools serving nutrient-packed, high-fiber, plant-based meals. Lincoln offers students fiber-rich black bean chili, red beans, and rice, and veggie burgers. Desert Garden's most popular homemade menu items include black bean tacos, Thai curries, and Indian food. And a typical lunch at Muse includes sweet potato and black bean cakes with avocado dipping sauce, roasted broccoli with watermelon wedges, and a fresh leafy green salad. Grammy-winning pop star Maya helped spread the word by sharing her new Physicians Committee PSA public service announcement on Instagram. Celebrity health advocate and mom Kourtney Kardashian wrote in support of Lincoln Public School District's new menu items. And Dr. Bernard proposed that, quote, school lunch standards need a boost in an op-ed in The Hill, a newspaper covering Congress. So this is the Muse School. This over here, this is the Muse School, Calabasas, California. This is the Lincoln Public School District over here, Lincoln, Nebraska, which has healthy choices for children.
There's a sister too. I think her name is Liza. Dorothy had 2 children.
And then the Desert Garden Montessori, Phoenix, Arizona.
Facts.
Here's the Lincoln Public School District School in Nebraska. Let's take a look at another article or two. Plant-based diet improves diabetes. Major new study from the Physicians Committee. Study success stories. Plant-based diet helps migraine pain. This is interesting. Putting it into practice. This is Michael McNean, MD. This issue's putting it into practice features tips from Michael McNean. In other words, this is teaching us practical ways of teaching children, getting ourselves to get a healthier way of eating. This issue's putting it into practice features tips from Michael McNean, MD, a pediatrician at the Cleveland Clinic, who will be among the world's leading physicians and researchers speaking at the Physicians Committee International Conference on Nutrition in Medicine, Cardiovascular Disease on July 31st to August 1st, 2015 in Washington, D.C. There he is. Below, Dr. McNean describes nutrition and lifestyle recommendations for children that he discusses with parents. Question: how do you help parents encourage their children to eat healthful diets? As a general pediatrician, I see my role as working to prevent heart disease. I speak to parents of infants and encourage them not to give up on their child liking a particular vegetable or fruit until they've tried to introduce it at least 20 times. We discuss the research that suggests that it may take 20 tries for an infant to learn to like a new taste, and the fact that infants who learn to enjoy vegetables and fruits soon become children who enjoy vegetables and fruits. Question: what does a healthy plate look like? We discuss what a healthy plate looks like, with half the plate filled with vegetables and fruits with more vegetables than fruits. We review whole grains and healthy sources of protein. Question: do your recommendations change as a child ages? As the children get older, if they need help, we brainstorm finding physical activities they would enjoy doing for at least an hour a day. Question: why is it important to begin healthful habits at a healthy age? Heart disease begins in childhood. Successful early intervention will prevent heart disease in adults.
A perfect example of how Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen wrote for...
Trained paramedics with simulators, not animals.
He was not an out-and-out, I love you, baby. That was another guy. Or even
Canadian University urged to replace animal labs with simulators.
Johnny Burke, the lyricist. If, as he wrote here, I want you to know.
Okay.
He goes through a lot of his songs. The lyric circumvents out and out. I love you, baby.
We have something. In the interest of making it brief, we'll get to certain articles here. Kim Williams, MD. He's an MD. Kim Williams, MD, president of the American College of Cardiology, will be among the world's leading physicians and researchers, speaking at the Physicians Committee's International Conference on Nutrition in Medicine, Cardiovascular Disease, on July 31st to August 1st, 2015, in Washington, D.C. Okay, it's a little dated, but still we can get some good information over here that we can use. In this Good Medicine exclusive, Dr. Williams, who began following a vegan diet in 2003, answers questions about the state of heart disease and tips for preventing it. Okay, here's a question. Questions. Describe nutrition or lifestyle recommendations that you discuss with your patients. Everyone who is able should exercise for at least 45 minutes most days of the week. But food quality and content are also important. High fat and high sugar content increases mortality. Plant-based diets lead to better outcomes, reduce health risks, and have a much more favorable effect on obesity compared with the standard American diet. So it's very important to have a plant-based diet. What is the one thing someone can do today to improve their heart health? Everyone needs to know their critical numbers such as blood pressure, fasting, blood sugar, cholesterol levels, body mass index, and waist circumference. They say knowledge is power. In this case, being aware of risk factors helps motivate people to make a difference. What do you think is the number one cause of the heart disease epidemic? I'm happy to say that there is not an escalating epidemic in the United States. We have reduced cardiovascular mortality about 50% over the last few decades. However, internationally, the numbers are climbing as numbers in low and middle income countries adopt a more sedentary lifestyle with less healthy foods. So this is Kim Williams, MD, President of the American College of Cardiology. Okay, that's him. Dr. Kim Williams. Okay. So we see we can have some pretty good information in this article here, in this issue. This is rather interesting about 2014 Airport Food Review. Plant-based meals take off in U.S. airports. Plant-based diet improves diabetes. That's an important thing to know. Major new study from the Physicians Committee. A diet change. One moment. Here we go. Okay. A diet change beats a pill for diabetes treatment. A diet change beats a pill for diabetes treatment. A new meta-analysis by the Physicians Committee, published in Cardiovascular Diagnosis and Therapy, found that a plant-based diet accelerates type 2 diabetes treatment and does so more effectively than oral diabetes medication. Researchers with the Physicians Committee analyzed dietary patterns of adults with type 2 diabetes in the United States, Brazil, and the Czech Republic, and found that a low-fat vegan or lacto-ovo vegetarian diet significantly improves blood sugar control in type 2 diabetes. Quote, plant-based diets work in a different way than conventional diabetes diets, says Neil Bernard, MD, President of the Physicians Committee and one of the study authors. We know that type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. Getting the animal fat and fats in general out of the diet helps repair insulin's ability to function. The American Diabetes Association's clinical practice recommendations have cited the value of vegan diets for type 2 diabetes for several years. The new study results will give more confidence to doctors who aim to reduce their patients' needs. The new study results will give more confidence to doctors who aim to reduce their patients' need for medications. Currently, more than 100 million Americans have either diabetes or pre-diabetes. So this is important. Plant-based diet improves diabetes. Major new study from the Physicians Committee. Okay, so there we have this report from this magazine, Good Medicine, which tells us a lot of various good results that one can realize through the practice of having a plant-based diet and getting away from animal products. And exercise is important also, very important exercise. And one should be aware of what one puts into one's body and practice awareness and aim for a healthy lifestyle. That's a very important thing. So that this way we can accomplish things, be better at what we do, and things should be good, should get better with the situation in the world. And thank you very much once again for watching. Take care.